And in Tipitaka, it's full of seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, visible object hardness, because there are realities in daily life which ignorance cannot understand all these realities at all. But Panya can, and it can develop to the degree that it is aware by conditions when that reality appears almost together at the same time. Because you see that now, when there's seeing and visible object, attachment is aware of that and almost at the same time. So at moment of experiencing an object with awareness is different, because usually it passes without any understanding. But when it appears, it's sati which is aware. No one can make it up to be aware. See, by understanding the moment with sati and moment without sati, it shows the development of understanding, pariyatti, theoretical knowledge. Because at that moment, the sankhara khanda, the function of other cetasikas, not I, it's time to arise and to condition sati to arise, to be aware very shortly. It has to be as short as that, but it's the beginning which one, only oneself can know when there is sati and when there is no sati. No need to ask whether it's sati or not. Is it satipatthana? That is no understanding of anything, of Dhamma right now. See, very natural, as usual, but it depends on whether sati is there. So it appears well or as it is.
And I think on Jessica's question about internal, external in the Satipatthana Sutta, what I said to her was, actually we know whatever is understood, it's citta, cetasika, rupa, and when there is understanding of visible object or sound, there's no idea of internal, external. We only have the ideas of other people and me, or outside or inside, as concepts of thinking. So one knows that when it's awareness, it has to be awareness of feeling, of hardness, not of the other's citta, but the object that arises can be conditioned by many factors. Is there anything else you have to add?
There are many degrees of understanding too, depending on what Buddha told us about. For example, among the two, the seeing and visible object, what is inner and what is outer? The visible object and seeing.
Seeing is inner.
Seeing is inner, and
visible object is
seeing.
outer.
And is there only seeing here, nowhere else? Or there's seeing somewhere too? And which one is the inner? And which one is the outer? So it depends on what we're talking about. And in daily life, there is the idea of I and the others all the time. And satipatthana means that don't forget about developing understanding of anything which appears. When you have the idea of someone at that moment, right understanding and right awareness can arise. Otherwise, oh, that is a person, I cannot understand that. It's not time to understand the outer, not the inner. But actually, it's just the object of awareness. That's all. So Panya can see that no matter we take it for someone or something, it's only object of a reality, of citta. And they all pass away. By understanding, one can read the Pitaka and the commentaries with understanding about one word at a time better, like Kama, Kamavajara, and Kama Kuna. See, starting from Kama, attachment, to kamakuna, the object, which is the five sense doors object, because we are always enslaved to only these realities in one's life. We cannot leave it and have the conditions to be higher level of citta than this, like Rupavachara, Arupavachara, and Lokuttara. So all depends on right understanding, like the word Buddha, the awakened one, the enlightened one. So each of his words can condition panya for those who listen carefully. And panya cannot be bought, no matter how much money in the universe. No one can buy it. So how precious it is that nothing can buy it at all. When it's not as precious, we can use money to buy panya, to have panya.
Can I ask, a moment ago you mentioned it's not time yet to understand. I have a quotation from Survey of Paramatta Dhammas. I was going to ask about that. Sati may arise and be aware of hearing, but one may not be ready yet to investigate that characteristic in order to know it is only a nama which experiences sound.
Or just not time yet to understand it as not self.
But to consider it as a characteristic.
Hearing, at moment of seeing, it begins to see the characteristic of that which can see, which is now experiencing visible object.
Not time yet reminds me of patience and...
Don't think about experiencing it today or tomorrow, but what about the understanding and not forgetting, no matter where you are. Even thinking about it does not arise very often. That, it's only that which appears.
So many times when I listen to the talks, people say, well, Ajan, when you talk about it now, it's so clear, but then we forget when we go away. And there's no solution for that. It's
because Tira Sanya of Atta and Ego is so strong.
Okay,
otherwise, Buddha would not teach for 45 years. See, he didn't say go and do whatever, but each word brings more and more understanding.
So for Tira Sanya it just depends on the context. It just means strong Sanya.
And strong Sanya is strong Sanya for what? Of what? See?
Kusala or akusala.
Satipatthana.
Right.
For Satipatthana.
But now Sanya is strong on concepts and people and things.
Right.
I have this related to Sanya. Sanya keeps coming with everything except Sanya of Dhamma right now. And because we're not developing Sanya of Dhamma right now, so that's why when we go away, Sanya leads us back into the world of people and things, and we're lost again and again.
I have a question about Hiri and Ottappa related to the comments about metta. So when there is metta, there cannot be any transgression of sila at that time, and metta is always accompanied by Hiri and Ottappa. And we know that the proximate cause of Ottappa is respect for others. It's said to have an external object, and it's said the world is the predominant influence, whereas when the proximate causes of Ahirika and Ottappa are lack of self-respect and lack of respect for others. Can you say a little bit more about what is meant by the proximate cause for Ottappa's respect for others and the external origin, as opposed to self-respect as condition for Hiri? What is meant?
Who respects the other?
The one with metta.
someone, or it's
The chitta,
that
the
reality?
chitta with
no,
metta.
it's not chitta.
The metta.
It's the
Metta.
hiri and ottappa.
Oh, the hiri and ottappa. Okay. So at the moment of metta, at that moment there is respect for others, and that's the hiri and ottappa. And when it's said that ottappa has an external origin, or is particularly concerned with respect for others, whereas hiri is respect for oneself, what does that mean?
Okay. Do you know the others?
We have an idea of what the others would like, because like with
Okay.
metta we know what we would like, so we know what others would like.
Okay. Now you are Sarah. Next life, are you Ajan?
Always
Result of karma.
result of karma. And so, okay, so we understand when there is metta, there is respect for others. So what is meant by self-respect was given as condition
I
for
think
hiri?
that one tries to understand hiri and ottappa. Now we understand metta, the characteristic of
Yes,
one
yes.
characteristic
Right.
of Ariyanti. And hiri is not metta.
No.
Ottappa is not hiri.
Right.
That's why we better try to understand the difference between Cetasikas. At moment of hiri, it's that characteristic which is ashamed of being
Of
even
akusala.
akusala.